Did you have a spontaneous Kundalini awakening or spiritual awakening, whatever you want to call it? In this case, we are addressing specifically the Kundalini, which has a specific pattern, specific symptoms, specific signs that you can feel in the body, in the mind, in the psyche. So let's talk about this topic for a while. It's, I think it's important, it's interesting. Everybody and their dogs have an opinion on everything, especially in the new age of spirituality. Everyone says something. Yeah, well, most of the people just are play the game. Simon's, what's it called? Simon says, Simon's repeat. No, what is that? It's it can be called the way of saying monkey see, monkey do. What about Sam? And monkey see, monkey do. Most of them just read stuff without ever checking the sources, without ever, having personal experience, and they just dispense wisdom all over the internet. So I might as well give you my own take on the matter about spiritual awakening and destiny and fate, maybe we want to call it, if you want to give names. What about it? Well, my question for you is, was your Kundalini awakening spontaneous, or was it orchestrated, or was it a mistake? What it was? How did it happen? My personal one was, technically it wasn't spontaneous, because technically it was due use of substances. One substance that just opened the gate. But again, it was orchestrated, because in the previous 6 months of me taking the substance, and by the way, the day I took the substance, it happened because a series of synchronicity and coincidence of people I knew, and situation in which I was involved that made possible. It was like really orchestrated. It was like pre-planned, moment by moment. The quality, the quantity of the synchronicities were so high that it wasn't possible by chance. And this comes from a rational person. So my spontaneous Kundalini awakening began 6 months before the event. I was being prepared. My rational mind was being prepared by exposing my mind to strange stuff, like the numbers, the 111, the 333, the 777, all over the place. Been exposed with all sorts of coincidences and questions about life that came back. My career was about to shift naturally just before the event. So your event could seem like disconnected, could seem like you woke up and well, it just happened. Something triggered. Jesus, I have give me a second. That's pretty weird. Okay, we got it. Sorry. And but if you look further, if you look deeper, you might find that has been orchestrated and prepared for you. Despite of the tool, I mean, for me the substance was just the catalyst. It was just like a multiplier of everything that was happening, like a 100% multiplier. But all the signs, all the symptoms were there already. I was feeling this static electricity all over my body all the time. I was feeling like this heat coming up from my butt towards my head. I was feeling like doing this kind of moves, which today are pretty much smooth, but at the time it was like, like a robot, like a robot having problems. And what else? So I want to discuss this. I mean, I don't have any specific thing I want to say. Just talking out of my mind. And there's one point it's worth discussing today. It is I identified at least 3 kind of person, 3 kind of people in regards to the spiritual awakening. Those that will never wake up. And I might sound like extreme here, but you heard me. Will never wake up. And never is a long time. Will never wake up. They will never experience any kind of spiritual breakthrough, any kind of spiritual awakening, any kind of Kundalini syndrome, any kind of revelation. And those are the vast majority. Those are the NPCs. The NPCs of this planet. Why is it possible? Why? Because to awaken, there must be something that's sleeping. There is the need of something to be woke up. If there is nothing to awaken, what do you awake? If there is nobody sleeping now in the bed, who you're waking up to? There is no way. Majority of people lack the fundamentals. They lack the material. They lack the spirit. And different cultures and different religions and different traditions identified these people. I refer to the Gnostics, which call them the Illics, the Somatics, those that don't have a soul. They don't have it. They lack the soul. And my own opinion, if you ask me, is that not that they lack a soul. I mean, seriously, there's people that are complete NPCs. They lack soul. They don't have anything behind that. But lacking souls is so tiny? Is it so small? Is it so weak? And I mean, look at the soul as a planet. The bigger the planet, the more gravity pull it has. A small object cannot, even though a rock, big rock, have some gravity, I don't know, a gravitational pull could be the word, has some gravity. I mean, you don't fall, you don't get attracted by a big rock because it's not big enough. It has gravity, but it's so small you cannot even measure it. The tools are not even able to measure it. there is a tool to measure gravity. And I guess so. So the soul, which is this energetic field which moves through space and time, has to be developed enough to be able to be individualized. That's why it's like a bit like the consciousness of animals. Look at the ants, the insects. They have a collective consciousness, and most people, the NPCs I'm referring to, they have a collective soul. It's a stage of evolution. They just act out of automatisms. They act out of rules. They act out of obligations. And their soul is so underdeveloped that it has not enough gravitational pull to be able to bring the lessons in between reincarnations. I don't want to be technical here because, again, I'm here to say I don't know anything. This is what I say now could be different in 1 year, 6 months, because the only one, you're never wrong if you never question yourself. So, but what I want to say is the awakening requires a soul which is ready for the next stage. And the next stage is, let me be clear here, the next stage is to get the fuck out of this place. This material hell. The human condition. You could be a millionaire, you could have everything you want in the world, you can be successful, it doesn't change the fact that life on the planet is suffering. There is no way around it. And life in itself is always, no matter who you are, no matter how much money you have, no matter how lucky you are, you will have to go through suffering. I'm back. I'm easily distracted by stupid cars behind me, so here again. I was saying, no matter how you want to watch it, but life is always a survival race. It's like you of course you do stuff because they are pleasurable, but 90% of the things we do, there's a flying thing, is to avoid pain. Example, I'm wearing a shirt. Why? I just enrolled my sleeves because it's hot. Because if I didn't, I would suffer. If I didn't roll my sleeve to stay cooler, I would have suffered. Why did I eat today? Because if I don't, I suffer. Why do we sleep? Because if we don't, we suffer. Why do we help others? I challenge you on this. Why we do help others? You can help others because you feel better when you do. Of course, we can also help others whenever we don't feel good. We can become absolutely martyrs. We can, hurt ourselves to help others, but most of the time is because we want something to gain. And let me get back to where I was. Life is conditioned. There is no freedom in material life. You cannot be free. Everything you do, even though we think we are free, we are not. Because if you look further, if you look further, if you look deeper, and if you are not afraid of embracing the truth, everything you do during the day is to avoid some kind of pain or consequence you do not like. Is this freedom? No. But again, so the point was, get the fuck out of this place. Some might say it's a school. Some might say it's a divine plan. There is a reason. I would really like to believe this narrative, and I believed it for a while. I was more happy, believe me, but not today. I mean, unless I got new proof. To me, is not a school. It's just something that, for some reason, we will not discuss today. We fell into this place, and so the second type of people are those that awaken because they have substance, they have a soul. And again, we're talking about soul as not as a on-off system. As think of it as analogic, something like a gray zone. Look at this flying. Look at this. Did you see? Is it magic? I wonder if there is some spider web. Yes, it's a spider web. Yeah. Anyway, the second type of people are those that awaken because they reached a threshold that allowed them to awaken. Imagine like a soul, it could be an embryo, it could be an infant, it could be, different stages of evolution. And how the soul evolves is a long chapter. We're not discussing this today. Just quickly, you can evolve both in pain, with pain, and with joy and love. Both are ways to improve. Spoiler. So those souls were ready enough to be able to bloom, and they bloom, and they spontaneously evolve, and they spontaneously awaken. What might seem random, it's indeed something that the soul pre-planned. Now, these people could be one thing I want to make clear. Kundalini doesn't give a crap about you. Most people online, most books refer to it as the Mother, Divine Mother Kundalini Shakti. In my view, in my experience, Kundalini does not give a crap about you. It doesn't care. Like the soul doesn't give a crap about you. The soul has a life of its own. The soul has objectives which are far from your human objectives. The soul plans for eons. The soul, it has a life of its own and has plans and objectives long term. It doesn't care about you as human. Is it you? The awakening is telling you, man, you have to align with me. There is no other way. I mean, that's why awakening is so difficult, especially if you're an ambitious person like I am. Because the awakening is telling you, your plans don't matter. My plans matter, because you're about to die. You, small human, are worth 70, 80, 90, 100 years if you're very lucky. But I am here to stay. And you cannot fight the soul. Really, you cannot. You can try. I tried. I tried 6 years in a row. If you ever watched Mr. Robot, the series, you'll find out that the main character is always fighting his alter ego. And in my view, that movie is about spiritual awakening, not mental illness, which is a topic for another video. Now, the soul, thus Kundalini, do not care about you. They don't give a damn. They couldn't care less. They're gonna do what they're gonna do. And this type of people that awakens, I was talking about earlier, are people that have reached enough maturity. Their soul is mature enough to be reaped, and they awaken, but we might say is not the final awakening. It's a try. There's different, I'm very challenged to share some of the things here, because still, even though everything I've been through, I don't want to, sound pretentious here, but when I was, when I was my soul, because this is what happens during a Kundalini awakening, the flame of the soul is so strong, and you as an ego, as a person, you are kind of pushed back and watch the soul act and use the body. And that is what happened to me. It even scared me, because I thought for most of the time, I felt that something was taking over this body, and I felt it was the soul, the self, call it as you want. But I was afraid. Who could have told me? How could have known if it wasn't a devil or an evil entity or something? I couldn't be sure, but I now know that it was my soul. And when my soul, I was completely soul. Now I'm back to hers. You can say that. You can see that. But when I was complete soul, and I was talking from the heart and the soul, I knew I could just see the history of the souls, the people around me, walking. And it was clear to me that most of the people were infants. Their soul were infants. But some of the people that I met had many reincarnations. And I specifically recall telling a guy, which I told, you awakened each and every time you returned. You keep waking up. over and over. Because waking up is not an easy task. It is not an easy task. What I'm trying to say is, you come back, you're evolved, you come back, the soul come back. Sorry to say this, you're gonna die unless you merge with the soul. The soul come back and tries, and it awakens, and it tries. It's like training for the soul, trying to escape the pull of this planet, trying to escape the pull from this dimension. So, these people are regularly coming back, trying to fully awaken. So, yours could be not yours. Your soul's awaken could be not the first awakening, could not be the first, could be the 100th. I don't know, I don't have numbers here, and I will not speculate on things that I don't know. I was saying the third are those that come back purposely to, I would say, help others, but they might have objectives, different objectives. Most likely is to help others, and with others I refer to those, the second type of people, souls, that are trying to awaken fully. One thing that I've been told as soon as I woke up, even before the main events in which the Kundalini full rose, I was hearing like this voice, this directive, and it was just focus on those that are on the edge. Just focus all your efforts on those that are in the middle of the edge, and they are with a leg up. They're just having a leg up, and they don't know if they want to jump in the abyss of the awakening, or they want to get back to the matrix. There are a lot of people in this planet here that are on the edge, and they don't know if they're crazy or they are awakened. And they told me, just focus your effort in helping those. Ignore the others. Ignore the dead. I will not cite the text, the Bible here, because I don't know how. I do not read it in English, but Jesus said, "Let the dead bury their dead," or something like this. Yeah. And this is the exact phrase I was told: "Let the dead bury their dead." There's no point in trying to save them. You cannot. They will be trapped in this dimension forever. Because there's no time. There's no more time. The physical time to be able to develop a soul that's able to ascend, it's over. This is the reason I always refused my awakening. Because, if it was all about, okay, I acknowledge that spirit is real, I acknowledge that those chakras are real, are not just crap, bullshit. I acknowledge that, okay, I gotta go to church or meditate or whatever. Yeah, it would have been easier, but I've been told since the beginning there is a big plan happening in the world. And we gotta get the fuck out of here. We gotta get the fuck out of here, because this plane, no matter how your life is beautiful, this is not your home. This is not your place. You're not supposed to stay here. Duality is not natural. Everything around us is made up. Everything around us is made on purpose, but not from the real creator of the things. It's being made by some other guys that wants to enslave you. So, 3 types of awakening. The non-awakening, they will never awaken. They will fight those that awaken. They will stay in this dimension forever, and they will be consumed at the end of time. The second type of awakening, those that are trying incarnation after incarnation to leave the pull, the magnetic pull of this planetary trap. The third type, those that sacrifice themselves to come back and help others to awaken. I suppose you are of the second type, because otherwise you wouldn't be listening to this thing at the moment. You would be doing something much more productive. And that's it for today's rant. I allowed myself to be more open and share some of my personal thoughts, and you can disagree completely, and that's okay. I would love somebody to disagree with me and give me solid information that contradicts and help me change my mind. That's all. If you're struggling with your Kundalini awakening and you have a syndrome, meaning you have all the symptoms are becoming too much pressure, I help people one-on-one. Click on the link in the description, and we can have a talk to see how to address your situation. That's all for me now.